Shalom, this is Onieh. I know it's not uh, Monday, but a friend of mine asked me if I could record for him my pronunciation of the Hebrew letters. I've done longer videos where I go in depth in providing my pronunciation, but based on his request, I thought about it some, and I think it would benefit people to have a very short video just giving my take on the correct pronunciation of the Hebrew letters of the alphabet. So this is what this video is for today. So I'm going to share my screen so you can follow along with the letters that I'm pronouncing. One moment while I do that. Okay, so I have a document file here with each letter of the Hebrew alphabet, as well as the pronunciation values that I assign to them. So people often hear about letters of Hebrew having certain guttural sounds that are very foreign to our concept in English. But here's my basic take on that, and that is that the sounds that exist of language in general follow very specific rules, and you can basically create a system where all the different sounds that can be pronounced for languages can be neatly divided into categories that are harmonic and in very ordered categories. And so with that said, I believe this pronunciation scheme that I have come up with adequately covers the Hebrew language pronunciation, as well as covering the pronunciations of the various sounds that any language ought to have. And so that also includes the guttural sounds. So, and many of these letters follow the same basic pattern where they have two sounds, and the first one is like a harder sound, and the second sound is a softer sound. And you're going to see that principle in many of these letters. You also see for vowel letters, there's a vowel attached to it and a consonant, which is a guttural, attached to it typically. So with that said, the first, I'll do the vowels first, and that is Aleph corresponds to the letter A in the English alphabet, and it has the pronunciation for the vowel sound as ah, as in apple, ah, or as in dad. And what's interesting about that sound is when you say it naturally, you can hear the guttural sound in the vowel. When you're saying the vowel sound, you hear the guttural naturally. Ah, like at the end of that vowel, ah, it has a KH sound. It's a faint sound when you're saying it quickly in English. But if you say it slowly, ah, ah, it ends with a KH type of sound. And the way it typically works in Hebrew is that when you begin, when you have a vowel letter prior to another vowel letter, it makes that prior vowel letter into a consonant sound. So if Aleph was to precede a Wa, the letter Wa or the letter Yod, it would have a KH sound prior to it. So yeah, that guttural sound of Ch, and that is going to be, that is typically, the Ch sound is typically associated with the letter Het. is typically the traditional Hebrew pronunciation of that is a harder ch sound, and that same harder ch is what I assign to the letter aleph, because, like I said, the sound of the vowel sound ah naturally produces that guttural ch sound. Ah, ah. So the next vowel we come with is the letter E. Corresponds to the English letter E. It's the letter Hey in Hebrew. And so typically you're going to see the traditional pronunciation of that is ah and a H as a consonant. But so they have traditional pronunciation for Hey is for consonant is a regular H sound, ha, and then het has the ch sound. But remember, I assigned the ch sound to aleph, so I assigned that h sound that is normally assigned to hey, I assigned that h sound to the letter het. And the vowel hey, I give it a soft H sound, like in the English words honor and herb. You can there's a very faint H sound, herb, but it's very almost silent. Honor, you're not saying honor, but you're saying honor. Like there's this very faint H sound in there. And the vowel E, if you say that vowel, you can hear that faint H at the end of the sound. And it's the as in egg or wet. The water is the wet water, the And like I said, egg, And so it has that soft H at the end. The vowel for U, it corresponds to the English letter U, and it's the letter wa in Hebrew. It has a U sound and a W sound. The reason it has a W is because the U sound naturally leads to a W consonant when you're saying it. Ooh, ooh. When you're saying it slowly, you can hear that W. And when it precedes another vowel, it's going to become a W in sound. So like if you say ooh ah, it flows into the next vowel. It flows into the next vowel sound. So ooh. Steve, I'm just doing a very quick video today. So don't worry, this isn't the main practice video, but if you want, you can listen to what I've said. So yeah, that vowel is ooh. It has the ooh sound, and it has that W sound at the end as it produces the sound naturally. Next, we have the sound, the letter yod, corresponds to the English letter I, and it has a E sound and a Y sound. The reason it has that Y sound is because naturally when you're saying that vowel, E, it ends in a Y consonant. Like if you're, like I said, if a vowel precedes another vowel, that first vowel then it takes on that consonantal value. So you have, let's say you have E followed by aleph, E, it becomes E-ah, and so it flows into the Y consonant sound. And that's why when you have Yahuwah, the name of God, it's the letter Yod comes before the vowel letter Hey, and therefore the Yod it's not pronounced as an E, it's pronounced as a Y. Yeah, Yahuwah. So that's why we pronounce Yod as both E and Y sounds. And then the last vowel letter is IN, and that corresponds to the English letter O, and it has the pronunciation of like ugly, or more relevantly, onion, because if you look in the word onion, the O in the first O and the second O both have a sound. Un, yun, onion. But we're using the letter O to signify that sound, onion. So it has that sound, and it has a guttural g sound, gh, because when you're saying, if you hear the vowel sound of it ends in a g sound naturally when you're just saying that vowel sound, and so what you see in Hebrew, like before the cities of Gomorrah and Gaza, it actually uses ayin, and the pronunciation that they use in these words, they use it as a consonant rather than a vowel sound, and so it becomes, instead of Ugmora, it becomes Gomorrah. With it starts with a consonant, and the same with Gaza, Ugza, because instead they pronounce it as Gaza, like with a GH, and that's a hard sound to pronounce, but the basic concept is like a H added to it. It gives it that sound, and those are called guttural sounds. So the guttural sounds are attached to the vowel letters. So A is associated with KH, E is associated with a soft H, and O is associated with a GH. Then we go with these double consonant sounds, where we have bet, which corresponds to the letter B in English, and it has both a B sound and a V sound, B and V. And the reason it has both those sounds is because B and V are closely related sounds to each other. It's basically different directions of the same mouth movements, but one is in the one direction and the other is in the other direction. So let's say the word tub. If you take the word tub, T-U-B, tub, and instead you say tub and tub, they sound almost identical. So both those sounds, they're so close to each other, they are combined into the same letter. And then you have for double consonants, you have the letter P corresponds to the English letter P, and it has both a P sound and a F sound. And so, like if someone was to say map, the word map and the word math and map, they almost sound identical. Map, like a treasure map, and if someone was to say a treasure map, when someone says it fast, you could easily misunderstand the which sound is being used. And I actually, in recent times, I've actually confused sounds, and I've misheard words that people were speaking due to this close pronunciation of P and F. And just to keep in mind, in these double sounds for the consonants, the first sound always comes at the beginning of a syllable, and the second sound always comes at the end of the syllable. So if the syllable begins with the letter, it has that first sound, whereas if the syllable ends with that letter, it has that second, softer sound. Now this one is the letter Sadi, and it has a J sound, like the English letter J, and it has a J sound, J, like the word treasure. Treasure. Now notice, even though it's used as an S, we pronounce it as J. We don't pronounce it as sh. Treasure. We pronounce it as treasure. And it's the same je sound as in French. Je m'appelle. However you spell it, m'appelle or something. But yeah, the je sound. It's not je, and it's not je. It's not those other pronunciations, but it's a, like I said, it's a je sound. It's not sh, but je. And then what's interesting is Sadi, this twofold thing corresponds also to the Shen, where you have the same concept of ch and sh. So j, ch, j, sh. This one is kind of like more like a DCH, j, j. And this one is more like a TCH, ch. Like itch, I got an itch. Whereas someone might have an idge, idge. Of course, I just made up that word idge, but I'm just showing you guys the difference in pronunciation. So shin has both a ch sound like in cheese and the sh as in shush. And again, the first one is at the beginning of a syllable, and the second one is at the end. And this is the letter tav, and instead of a T sound, it has actually two distinct sounds. The first is the, like the TH in the word English word the, as well as the English word loathe. That's the TH sound, the. But it has a th sound, like in thick and teeth. It's a more of a hissing sound, a th. And so you notice that the hissing sounds always come second in these. So let's see here. So you have f, and v, and you have j, and sh, and but in the first ones you have the and ch and j and p and b. So it follows the same principle. All these letters are following the same principle, where the harder sound comes first and the softer hissing sound comes second. At the end of a syllable, it has the hissing sound. At the beginning of a syllable, it has the harder sound. Then these remaining letters are just single sounds that never change, and they're the same sound no matter where you use them in words. And for those letters, it's gimel, corresponds to the English letter G, and it's a g sound like goat and pig. Not giraffe, but geese. And then the next letter, dalet, corresponds to the English letter D, as in dog, duck, dumb. It's all that d sound. Z, for Zion, it's the same as zebra and zoo. It's that Z sound. Like I said earlier, het, it's just the regular H sound, like house and hope and human and harmony. Tet, it has that T sound. as in top and tasty and time, the T sound. Cough is the letter here, corresponds to the English letter K, and it has the sound of cake and kiss and kill. K, k. And Lamed corresponds to English L, and it has the L sound. Love, really, lie, loser, liver, L sound. And Mem has the M sound, normal M sound. So mom, milk, moo, and N is noon, like the English word noon, and nope, and none, nine, next, the n sound. Samic has the S sound, like soup, silly, some, those kind of sounds. And cough has the Q sound, like the English word barbecue, or the word cute. You're cute, like the letter, we use the letter C, but we say someone's cute. It's not coot. So it's not coot, but cute, almost like a KY. Kya. And then we have the R, and it has that's resh, and it had, like I said, the R sound. So rice, ripe, those kind of words. And yeah, that's basically the alphabet. So those are the pronunciations of the Hebrew alphabet. So I'll read through them one more time, and then that's the end of this video. So Aleph is A and Ch. Bet is B and V. Or excuse me, B is B and V. Gimel is G. Dalet is D. Hey is E and H. Very soft. And Wa is U and W. Zion, Z. Het, H, H. Tet, T. Yod, E and Y. Kaf, K. Lamed, L. Mem, M. Nun, N. Samek, Sa. Ayin, and G. Pe, P and F. Sadi, J and J. Kof is K. It's possible cough. You know how I said it has like a KY sound? It also might sometimes have a GY sound. K and G. It might double as the two sounds, just like the other ones doubled as two sounds. So cough might have that as well. But and then resh is R. Shin is Ch and Sh. And Tav is V and Th. So yeah, that's my pronunciation. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will do our Hebrew practicing tomorrow, Monday, and I'll see you guys then.